forward for you.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you this morning by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is State Representative Dr. Bil Hauter. Dr. Hauter, how you doing this morning? Doing all right?
Good morning. Yep, it's always good to talk to you, Seth.
Yeah.
I appreciate you having me on here every so often. You're pretty regular about it, and that's good. I like coming on and speaking to the people of Clinton and DeWitt County mostly.
Well, we appreciate you making time for us. Always good to have you on the program. I got to ask you off the top here, what are you going to be for Halloween on Friday? Are you and your family going to hand out candy and all the works?
It's work all day. I think.
Has anyone ever just bought you the Budweiser jacket, the number 3 car, number 8 car hat, and just put you in a Dale Earnhardt?
No, I'm not a big Halloween guy anyway,
but
okay. I do like the candy.
Yeah.
I'm always hoping that we don't have many visitors so I can get all the extras.
The doctor wants all the candy. That's fabulous.
Oh yeah, I'm a big candy guy. Yeah,
oh,
it's ridiculous.
That's fabulous.
It's ridiculous.
That's fantastic. I don't care who you are. That's great stuff. Very good. Hey, let's dive into Dr. Hauter. I know you're going to be headed down to Springfield here in just a bit. What's going on in Springfield this week, and what's top of mind for you?
Well, it's veto session. Veto is where what's supposed to happen is that we override vetoes that the governor has vetoed our bills over the spring session. But usually there's not much veto activity with them having the supermajority. Not many things are going through to the governor. I think he did vetoes line item on like 3 bills, and so that won't be real big. But we are trying to tackle some major issues, and that is transit funding, which mostly centers around, admittedly Chicago, but does have a lot of impact in some of our mid-sized cities in Central Illinois, like Peoria and Springfield for sure. So it is important to my constituents in some ways. A lot of medical transportation is under mass transit. So there is medical transportation for those who can't afford it or are elderly that falls under the mass transit funding. So it is a very important topic, even though it's mostly a topic that's most on the minds of Chicagoans.
It feels like this has been on the table, on the board for some time. What's the holdup in getting this passed when you've got a super majority down there? Yeah,
well, the holdup is that it's a huge number. They said at one time 700 million, and it's also going to take some creative extraction of other people's money, and they're very, very good at that. So we're going to see how they're going to extract other people's money. We saw a bill drop last night that had a billionaire's tax, and we can talk about that, but nobody cares about billionaires getting taxed, but it's, although maybe unpopular, those people that are billionaires are drivers of our economy. Mm-hmm. And we saw what happens when Citadel left for Florida, and Mr. Griffin, I think that's his name.
Yeah, Ken Griffin, right?
Yeah, yep, that's it. He went to Florida and basically emptied out a huge Chicago office tower of Citadel employees. So those employees, their families, and that business, that multi-billion-dollar business, and that multi-billion-dollar taxpayer, and those lot of multi-millionaire executives all went to Florida. With this billionaire's tax, expect more of that. And everybody says, good riddance, don't care, I don't like rich people, blah, blah, blah. Well, they are, again, Seth, drivers of our economy. They're the makers. They're the business people that employ everybody else. And they can take their business, they can take their tax-paying personal funds and go down to Florida or Texas or Tennessee or where they don't have to even pay state income tax, let alone a billionaire's tax. And this billionaire's tax is one of the worst taxing ideas ever. It's called unrealized capital gains. So you don't even have to sell your asset and you're taxed on it. And so you have to take all your assets every year and pay a 4 or 5% tax. We'll see what the actual rate is. That is extremely demotivating to billionaires to stay in Illinois. Bad idea. It won't be popular to defend this, but we're going to do it because it's best for Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when you have those folks like Ken Griffin leave, when you have Caterpillar relocate, I know not the entire agents or not the entire business, but you have a lot of upper echelon folks within those businesses leaving the state. That's revenue the state's going to have to find somewhere else, and I mean, it is what it is. They're coming after your dollars.
Yep, absolutely. It's a really bad idea. It's these people move and they take their business to places on incentives, and any Fortune 500 company is going to look at Illinois now and say, I have to pay 5% on my unrealized gains. I didn't even sell the stock, this painting, this car, this house, I didn't sell it at all, but I'm going to be taxed on it every year like I sold it. And what are they going to do when those assets go down in value? Are they going to refund the money to those people? So it's just a bad idea, but it's always interesting the creative ways that they get to other people's money, and they think that they know how to spend it better than them.
Sure. Well, wasn't it Governor Pritzker just the other day that was calling out the Trump administration over, what was it? Was it I can't remember. Something with taxes. What was he? He said a lot of things lately, I guess. But anyways.
Yeah.
So
I don't. There's been a constant war of words between Pritzker and Trump, and I've sort of tuned it out. I think a lot of Illinoisans have.
For sure. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Anything else out of veto session this week, Dr. Hauter?
Well, we did yesterday. We had a bill on virtue signaling bill that they tagged on to a popular pharmacy benefit manager like cleanup bill that we were bipartisanly in support of, but they tacked onto that a control of immunizations and authority for immunization policy with the Illinois Department of Public Health, because evil Trump administration, evil Secretary Kennedy changed some of the recommendations on COVID vaccinations, and by doing that, they believe that he is unscientific and he's going to harm Illinoisans, and so they have to take over vaccination policy, vaccination recommendations with the Illinois Department of Public Health. And get this, the old WHO, World Health Organization, controlled by China, controlled by communist China. The United States doesn't even participate in WHO anymore, and they're going to use Illinois Department of Public Health, and if they need approval for a vaccination that's not approved by the FDA, they'll just go to the WHO. We've seen this technique a few times now, that Illinois is going to rely on WHO instead of the FDA because, Trump's bad, the scientists and medical doctors at the FDA are bad because they're associated with the administration. So Illinois has to decide all this now and take control of this. It's just another virtue signaling bill to their base to show them we're fighting Trump, we're battling Trump. It's just a bad idea, and it's predicated on the thinnest of issues, and that is, he changed the recommendations for COVID vaccinations for children of school age and also pregnant ladies. So he changed those recommendations. Did you hear that, Seth? A recommendation. He said, instead of recommending the shot for school-age children, I'm going to recommend that you talk to your provider, your healthcare professional. That, to me, is reasonable, very reasonable. But that change in recommendations, they use that as evidence that the FDA is now unscientific and controlled by Trump, and so we have to take it over.
Well, I mean, in Illinois, whether you like it or not, your kid's a ward of the state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least they view it that way.
They increasingly they do.
Yeah, no question. when it comes to that recommendation, Dr. Hauter, I mean, is that the only change, or are there going to be other, stipulations where, you can't attend, you can't be in school if you don't have this, or, all those things?
Well, that we don't know now. If IDPH, Illinois Department of Public Health, has control over immunization policy instead of the FDA and the recommendations from HHS, now we're at the mercy of IDPH. And that scares me, because these are the same people that took control of COVID vaccination policy during COVID. And what did they do? They locked down schools. They locked down businesses. They threatened your job. They threatened your travel. We had vaccination passports. I mean, they did not cover themselves in glory. And one of the reasons I got into running for state representative, because we've talked about this before, but I looked at the General Assembly and I looked at these authoritarian policies, these mandates, these lockdowns, and I did not see any scientific approach or medical approach. I saw an authoritarian approach of, we got the power and we can do whatever we want to. We can shut down your church, but we can let Black Lives Matter protest all they want to, and gather and protest, and they're magically protected from any kind of COVID. But your church, we're going to put police outside your church. And so I looked at the General Assembly and I saw not one medical doctor and 118 state representatives and 59 state senators. And I said to myself, there should be someone from medicine in a public health emergency. And so that's why I ran. And so I do not support or appreciate the approach of Illinois Department of Public Health. I think they were very wrong, not a little wrong. They were very wrong during COVID. And now we're going to give vaccination policy back over to IDPH. It's ridiculous.
I always went back to, you could go out and you could get your marijuana, you could get your alcohol, but you couldn't go to church,
Yep. And the Lowe's and Costco were open, but your local Ace Hardware or a small business was closed and destroyed.
Sure, very good. Well, on that note, Dr. Hauter, let's take a break here. Come back with some more. State Representative Dr. Bil Hauter on the Zoom with us here this morning. Again, it is the WHOW Morning Show, streaming live online all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com. More to come.
WHOW.
Paul Scarron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. With October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, our state-of-the-art 3D mammo machine can help detect early cancer. Find out details by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm Chip Flory, your host. We join you weekday mornings from 10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on the WHOW streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois' Ag Station, WHOW.
Tuning in and listening to the news, hearing what's happening with local views across the country or in my town. I tune in to find out what's going down. Yeah, yeah. Local radio, keeping me informed in my community. Local radio, creates unity.
Now there's one web portal for local agriculture radio programming in Central Illinois. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Local farm programming streamed live and archived to hear anytime. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Hear the morning and noon farm shows with local agriculture news and interviews. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Plus hear all of your favorite agriculture farm shows, including RFD Illinois, AgriTalk, RFD Today, and the Closing Market Report. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. It's agriculture grown locally, streamed live, and archived to hear anytime. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. A service of the Miller Media Group.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom again, Dr. Bil Hauter, state representative with us. Dr. Hauter, I know that I don't think it's in your district, but I know there was recently an Illinois County board member, rural Illinois, that was struck in a car accident. Him and his wife were killed. A person here in the country, in the state, illegally. How about those? How about that? And just I know details are short, in short supply right now, but just your reaction to that.
Well, it just again demonstrates to me, the fact is that we're talking about illegal immigration, and to me, it's just a matter of public safety. It's a matter of just being part of, under the law of the United States, equality under the law. And they always forget the part of illegal, and they want to call them immigrants or undocumented immigrants. But these people are here illegally, and there's many of them that have committed criminal acts. Those people, we have to actually get those people out. We have to support our law enforcement, and ICE is part of law enforcement. So to me, it's just a matter of basic. This is what we do in our country. We enforce the laws of our country. And so this is another example of what happens when you're a sanctuary state. The Trust Act should be repealed. Absolutely, we need to support law enforcement. We need to support ICE. And to do otherwise, I think, is just absolutely, against the laws of our state, the laws of our country, and the laws of being a good citizen and elected official. I don't understand how you can be an elected official and take an oath of office to defend the Constitution of the United States and Illinois, and then just embrace total lawlessness and illegality.
What do you make of the governor's efforts? Obviously it's Chicago, so not so much downstate Illinois pertinent, but just the efforts at the state level to just fight ICE and not pursue these people that are here, with criminal activity in their background and things of that nature.
I mean, we should be totally supporting ICE, and if we would support ICE, there wouldn't be these confrontations, these riots, these conflicts, and very dangerous conflicts between rioters and people who are protecting, the illegal immigrants from ICE. And so there's these clashes, and they're becoming very dangerous. It's extremely unresponsible of the governor to continue to support the conflicts and the open defiance of the law and really open conflict with our immigration officials. It's wrong, it's irresponsible, and it's wrongheaded. I'm very critical of the governor and his chosen path to defy the law.
What's your inclination at the root of this? Why this is being fought at that at this level by the governor?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's electoral. He has looked at this and seen that his path in the primary for the presidency is going to be who's going to be the most anti-Trump. And this is one of the battlefields. There's Title IX, there's DEI, there's Medicaid and SNAP funding, and there's immigration and ICE and enforcement of the immigration law. So he wants to defy Trump in all those issues, but especially with ICE.
Yeah, it seems like it's all a push to become president. And I know you're in Springfield there this week. Is the governor there, or do you know what his schedule is like?
He's rarely in Springfield, and he makes his appearances. But he's a Chicago governor. We've had quite a few of those, and he doesn't schmooze in Springfield very much. And I think part of that is they have the supermajority, and we can talk about gerrymandering and maps and everything like that, but he has a supermajority, and there's not a lot of need for him to come down and push any legislation or try to get both sides together in a bipartisan way and talk to the individual lawmakers, because I mean they're in total power. They have the math, and so he's going around trying to be president of the United States.
So when it comes to those gerrymandered districts, I know that there's a few states that have taken that up in recent months. Is that anything on the table in Illinois?
Oh, they talk about it, but it's hilarious to me because they are the ultimate cheaters. They have cheated. Illinois is a masterclass in gerrymandering and cheating. And so we got Hakeem Jeffries that comes into Illinois and he's asking us can you cheat anymore? And I think the Illinois Democrats are saying, you can't teach us anything about cheating. We are the best at it. And so really they can give a lesson to the rest of the country on how to gerrymander and how to cheat and how to disenfranchise voters, because Illinois is the most gerrymandered, the most unfair maps in the whole entire country. So if they want to eke out another representation from, 17th district or 16th district or something, they're going to have to consolidate and try to get one more Democrat congressman. It's going to be very, very difficult. I don't think there's any appetite at all. And so it's just all talk, and it's all a way to, we're going to fight Trump, and we're going to fight the other, Republican states that are changing their maps.
Grandstanding a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, very good. On that note, Dr. Hauter, very quickly, I've got about 15, 20 seconds. Anything we missed today you want to put out there for us?
Again, really heavy on my heart is the Bailey, Darren Bailey and his family, Cindy. Just sending out my condolences and my sympathy. I don't think I've even processed it. I can't even imagine the grief and the unspeakable grief. And so just praying for that family, and there's a memorial coming up in a few days.
Very good. Dr. Hauter, always good to see you, my friend. Thanks for making time for us.
Thanks for having me, Seth.
State Representative Dr. Bil Hauter on the Zoom with us here for this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news on the way.
Thanks, Seth.
WHOW.
Take care. We'll do this again.